Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. Today's video is a little bit different, I would say, than my usual videos, and I really do truly hope that this video helps somebody else out there because I have just had a lot of unknowns in my life. A lot of it due to the adoption, and a lot of it due to health stuff. And so I just hope this helps somebody out there. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, that I'm talking about precocious puberty and weight loss. So, here's what you guys need to know is I grew too fast as a child, and therefore I started to develop quicker, which led into puberty. So, precocious puberty is a condition that is rare, so fewer than 200,000 cases a year. And it's just when a child starts to sexually develop more than their peers and is basically leading them to puberty. So, I'm going to show you guys a picture since I've been doing this with all my other platforms. So, this is, I hope you guys can see, me and my sister. Thank you, credit card. Me and my sister. And in life, my sister is 2 years older than me, but in school, she was 3 years older than me. So in this photo, I was in kindergarten and she was in third grade. As you can tell, we are literally the exact same height. And that is abnormal. So I started developing really early on in life. I was diagnosed with the condition at the age of 6 or 7. I honestly don't know. And I was treated with the birth control, the Depo shot. And I just have to say, for any women who do the Depo shot, I give you nothing but props because that stuff is painful. The needle's super big, and I was kind of filling my nurse in on this stuff yesterday at my allergy shot appointment, and she was telling me like the medicine is so thick. And so for me, when I was in elementary school, first, second, and possibly third grade, I don't know. I did the treatment for like 2 or 3 years. And so I would get the shot and then go back into school. And my elementary school was a school that you just sat there until like recess or until lunchtime. There was no like walking back and forth between classes and some stuff. The school that's actually really close to my house, I guess, did that. And so I would just be so stiff from the medication because I wasn't able to like move around in class. And again, this was early 2000s where education was quite different compared to what it is now. So, anyways, I was diagnosed with the condition at the age of 6 or 7 and then treated for 2 to 3 years. And that is the reason why I am so short. So, if we hadn't treated the condition, I would have been 4 foot 3 inches. I am thankfully 4 foot 11 inches. So it's awkward being this short. Sometimes, like, honestly, I'm the only one who eats macaroni and cheese in this house. And where is it kept? On the highest shelf of the pantry. Who does that? And I know, like, there was one day I went to the gym and a bunch of these guys were like looking at me kind of weird, just trying to be like, is that an adult or is that a teenager or what? Um, so it is awkward like at times, but that is the reason why I'm so short. So when you go through puberty, your platelets start to close, and that is what makes you stop growing. So luckily, I did not go through actually having a period, When I was super, super young, but I was diagnosed with the condition based off of a lot of blood work, a lot of X-rays, and and treated with for the condition. So yeah, um, the thing is, I did not even consider this when thinking about like health history because for me, I'm adopted with a closed adoption. And so every time we talk about health history, I'm relating that question to family health history and to which I know nothing about because of my adoption. And that's a struggle in itself and definitely plays into a lot of my issues with like my adoption. And that's a whole separate video. Um, so I was talking to my mom and my sister when she was last up here, and we were just talking about the weight loss and kind of what goal would be realistic and whatever. And my mom was the one who had mentioned, well, with your condition of precocious puberty, I don't really know what would be realistic. Now, it's hard to listen to family members that do have advanced knowledge or even like a degree in a medical field because you just kind of think, oh, well, they know what they're talking about because they kind of know this stuff like more than the average person. No, my mom and my sister are not nurses nor are they doctors, but my sister is a biochemical engineer and did a lot of her studying based off of medications and how it affects the body. And my mom and my dad both teach the pre-nursing courses for the college that they work for. So they know all that stuff with anatomy and all of that kind of stuff. So we were just talking about the goals. I filled them in on what my doctor and I had discussed, which was to get the BMI down to at least 24. I gave them the number that would um, make that possible, I guess. It's really hard to talk about this without giving like specific numbers. Um, but my mom said, "Okay, I think that's like a good number for you to try and hit." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then at one point she said, because I think they were thinking BMI is based off of every 5 pounds. And so they took like 100 pounds and was trying to figure out the BMI from that. And my that's when my mom said, "I think for you personally, because of your condition, you would be an unhealthy 100 pounds." And so then my mom ended up explaining to me the bone growth and bone density of what happened to me as a child. And she's never filled me in on this medical stuff until literally then. So until literally a few months ago. Like I knew I had the condition, but she didn't really explain like the medical stuff that was going on. So it got me thinking, I was like, well, first of all, my doctor does not know this information. Um, I just completely spaced it out and I never told her. And so I thought, okay, well, I want to bring it up to her because, yes, she is following the BMI charts for weight. And so I'm just gonna let that be, even though I don't agree with BMI. There's some stuff that she said that makes me a bit more comfortable and whatever. So I was like, okay, I need to bring this up because with weight loss can come with decreased bone density. But I don't know for me if that's necessarily something I have to consider, considering my bones were so dense and so mature as a child that I don't really know if the weight loss is gonna be affecting it, whatever. So I basically had a real fun time trying to figure out how to communicate this to my doctor, communicate my questions relating to the condition to my doctor, and all of that. Saw my doctor on Thursday and I told her about the precocious puberty that I was diagnosed at like 6 and probably went through, I know for sure I did treatment at 7. but yeah, diagnosed and treated between 6 and 7. I told her that. I asked about the bone density and told her because I know that bone density can decrease with weight loss, but because I have this condition, like, is that something we have to be concerned about? And so she told me that no, it isn't something we have to be concerned about. The only time that they would become concerned about the bone density is if I ended up being like anorexic. So it's not something we need to worry about for now, but she knows about it. If we need to keep an eye on it, we do what we got to do. So then I asked her the huge question that I really needed to know, which was, is a BMI of 24 still realistic for somebody like me, since genetically I was not supposed to be 4'11? And so she said, basically, I'm going to sum this up. Yes, it's still realistic for you. And she did tell me that a healthy BMI would be between 18 and 24. 20, yeah, 24. Um, because yeah, the number that I have is literally the bare minimum for like healthy weight. So yeah. Um, so between that, and I said, okay, cool. So she ended up saying, though, that it's way more important to focus on if you're doing better, if you're still strong, versus focusing solely on a number. The hard thing is to, um, and even with what she was saying, was we're just trying to get you down to a healthier weight. And by doing that, we're just cutting down the calories that you're consuming. So, and this is why the bone density doesn't really technically matter for me, is because she said with the bone density stuff, we're just cutting down the calories. That's all we're doing. So, you're still getting enough to function every single day, but you're just eating less calories. So, back to BMI, she was just saying that it is realistic for you to get down that far, but ultimately it's up to you to decide where you want to be with your weight. The point was just to get down to a healthier weight. And again, still focusing on if I'm feeling better, if I'm like physically okay, like, well, that too, physically strong, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, the reason why I want to share this with you guys today is because, yes, I've had family members in my ear about, I don't think it's healthy for you to be 100 pounds. My dad was saying, oh, don't listen to the charts that much. Um, and my sister kind of just being, I don't know, she was always kind of in the middle. I don't really know. But I know that's really hard. But what is so important, you guys, is that when it comes to your health, it is truly between you and your doctor. It's the relationship that you have with you and your doctor, nobody else. Your health and the decisions about your health is made between you and your doctor. It is not a community project that everybody else gets their say in. Okay? If there's one thing you have learned from this video, health and the decisions about your health is based off of the relationship between you and your doctor. It's not a community project. Another reason why I wanted to share this was because I was not educated a lot on my condition as a child. And like I said, until a few months ago, my mom did not even talk about like what went on with me medically at that time. And so I would have never thought that because of my condition, maybe the goal that my doctor and I had set up would not be realistic. Um, so yeah. And I know in my own research that stuff with precocious puberty, you can find so much information on the condition. However, there is not a lot of information for like my situation where I went through it, I was treated. I did not have my first period as a child. I got my first period in middle school, which was completely normal and was definitely the time that all of my peers were getting their periods. And then, um, because of the condition, I gained weight. And then as an adult, I decided, hey, I want to lose weight, but there's literally nothing out there on precocious puberty and how it affects the child as an adult with their health as an adult. So I did learn though that there are like mental things that can happen because of precocious puberty. It can higher the risk for an eating disorder, and this makes sense because in my research, I found that they say that extra weight can cause the condition. However, with central precocious puberty, the cause is not known in a lot of cases. And what I have found is a lot of people who have gone through this were not obese before having the condition. What happened to me was I had the condition, and then, first grade, second grade, by first grade for sure, we were already slowing down the growth. And as a child, you need to be gaining weight. Sun's coming out now. And so obviously, if you are stopping the growth of a child, they're growing this way and they need to be gaining weight. They need to be getting a certain amount of calories. So therefore, the weight has nowhere to go. So I don't agree with extra weight on a child causes the condition, because I can fully tell you like it doesn't. Looking back at old photos of myself, I really until like second grade is when I really like I got my figure. You can tell in one picture that I have, like I have my hips, I have the love handles going on, and I have the Pooh Bear stomach, as I call it, that's growing this way and not this way. So yeah, that's why I kind of want to share this with all of you, is because there's a lot that's not really said about the condition and how it's going to affect your child's life once they become an adult, and especially for physical things. So, a lot of the things in research that I found was that all of the like health risks that go with the condition is all stuff related to diabetes, which would happen obviously if the child grows into adult and stays obese, then obviously that puts you at risk for diabetes. So I don't really know. Um, yeah, I don't really know. So yeah, I just thought I would fill you guys in on that. And so no, my precocious puberty condition does not affect my weight loss journey right now. And I don't know if it's going to affect anything else later on in life. I did see a video yesterday of a girl talking about precocious puberty, and she talked about how it can cause infertility. However, in her situation, she actually got her period at a super early age. And so, yeah. And a lot of the literature that's out there, you guys, it's hard to decide if when we're talking about precocious puberty and even like wording it as early puberty, if in a lot of those articles that means we're looking at a child who actually had a period before the age of 8 and whether or not they had treatment. Um, it's hard to tell because for my situation, yes, I went through it. I had the condition, we treated it. I did not have my period of first period until I was in seventh grade. So it's really hard for me to read a lot of the things that are out there because, yeah, I don't know if a lot of those things are associated with a child that actually like gets their period and whether or not they're being treated or not. Chances are, if they're getting their period, that early, my assumption would be that no, they are not getting treatment. So, yeah, there you guys have it. So, the condition does not really affect my weight loss. It's why I'm so short. I just listen, my body was an overachiever. I don't know what to tell you. Um, but I am really thankful that it was found and it was treated because, yeah, being 4'3", I can't imagine. Um, like I said, it's challenging enough being 4'11", and I do have to say I do need to give props to my doctor and my mom for something, and I don't give credit to my mom like at all in life. Um, but both my pediatrician and my mom did not push me to lose weight as a kid, nor were they really pushing diet on me as well. If you look at precocious puberty and you look at Mayo, down at the very bottom, it'll say encourage a child to eat right and, excuse me, and lose weight, basically, or just maintain a healthy weight. And I'm really glad that they didn't do that because I think honestly that would cause so much more problems in my life. Um, so yeah, the downfall of all of this is that I do not have any medical records from that time. I guess records stay with a clinic um, for like 10 years tops. So if I even wanted to attempt to get records, I would have had to do that within the first 2 years of being in college. The other thing is my pediatrician from that time completely moved away and she practiced on her own. So that was a question my sister asked. She asked, well, wouldn't they have the records from all of that? But when the pediatrician is practicing on their own and not being associated with one of the clinics, and the clinic, I don't know if I can say this. Um, I'll just say the clinic that I go to now, I guess I can. The clinic that I go to now did not exist in this town way back when all of this was going on with my body. So that makes it even more hard. And I do know I did find an x ray. This is like the one thing of medical history, of medical records that I have. I do know that I have this x-ray thing right here. And the problem is that you can see that I have it pointed right here. It compares my bone density to a white child. So even if I did have all the medical records, I don't know how useful that would be for my doctor now because when it's comparing me to a white child, again, I it basically makes itself invalid. So, anyways, I hope this video helps somebody out there. I can talk more about my condition and how it kind of did affect me as a kid. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day. Like this video if you liked it, or even if it helped you. And hit subscribe down below. Hit the bell for notifications. I post every single weekend. If you have questions, please just leave them down below. I really want to help parents understand this condition and how it might affect their kids like later on in life if it does. So the more information, the better. And yeah, I'm happy I talked to my doctor about it all because, like I said, it's too easy to listen to family members that kind of have a good understanding of medical stuff. And so, yeah, I will see you all later. Have a wonderful week. Bye.